just thought of that. One of these Republican. Who was the one that was saying? Oh, it was the guy. The guy, the guy with the eyebrows. Oh, he's horrible. Ben Shapiro talking about how retirement shouldn't be a thing. Why? I didn't mean to bring this up at all, but in fact, this was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. In case you missed it, let's play it just so you know. I don't know. So you know what I'm talking about.
And let's be real about this. It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States. It's totally crazy. Joe Biden, if that were the case, Joe Biden should not be running for president. Hey, Joe Biden is 81 years old. The retirement age in the United States at which you start to receive Social Security and you are eligible for Medicare is 65. Joe Biden has technically been eligible for Social Security and Medicare for 16 years, and he wants to continue in office until he is 86, which is 19 years past when he would be eligible for retirement. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years. And if you talk to people who are elderly and they lose their purpose in life by losing their job and they stop working, things go to hell in a handbasket real quick. But put all of that aside, just on a fiscal level and on a logical level.
They know a lot about fiscal.
When Franklin Delano
these
Roosevelt established
Republicans.
65 as the retirement age, the average life expectancy in the United States was 63 years old.
That is actually right. He's correct there. But that doesn't mean that we don't make improvements on life. You see, Republicans want us to, they think we have it too good in general. The meaning of life for them is for us to toil. It's like Ayn Rand. You know, there are some people are, what's his name? Rush Limbaugh said some people are just born to be slaves. And as Ayn Rand said, that others are, how did she put it? They are fuel to be used by others who deserve it or something like that. I mean, this is who they are. If you're not rich, if you didn't come up with some scam, some multi-level marketing vitamin scam or some stupid plastic, gold, tacky plastic gold encased crappy shoes, made in China shoes, if you didn't get some Chinese patents from your daddy's hero, an authoritarian dictator, if you didn't get $2 billion from an authoritarian dictator for God knows what, then you're nothing. You should just die. And, if you get old and you can't work, die. Go die. It's like the Republican health care plan. Don't get sick, and if you do, die quickly. And the Republican retirement plan is die. Don't, you'll get a lot of rest when you're dead. And when you're dead, you'll be in a mansion, and everybody will be happy in the mansion. But here on Earth, the Republicans got the earthly rewards all cornered. For people who don't really care about others, right? It's like they're so easy to dictate what everybody else should be doing with their lives, right? They rig the game in their favor and make sure that they have a firm boot on everyone's neck. And the fact is, it's the oldest tricks in the book, of course, the way they divide the American people. They divide us up along racial lines to keep the working class, at each other's throats. So we don't ever stop for a minute and say, you know what, this whole system is rigged. It's rigged for the people at the top who can exploit us. I mean, it's been going on forever and ever. This is why I can't stand the Republicans, the average Joe Republicans they just can't, they don't seem to be able to figure it out. For some people who are so attuned to the conspiracy theory du jour, they simply can't see the oldest conspiracy that is unfolding right in front of them. Because the fact is, when we'll go over it again, because I have another clip of a true maggot. These people they're beyond redemption. It's pretty sad, but it's also a reason why, it's kind of an example why we shouldn't, I'm so sick of checking in on them. how you feeling, how you doing, who you gonna vote. Like, these people they're a lost cause. Let them go and lick their con man's ass, figuratively and literally, and the rest of us will get about the business of having a functioning society that works for all. And, to listen to Ben Shapiro talk about what everybody else, when people should retire, when people should, what kind of a fulfilling life they should have. And, it's good if you like what you're doing. I mean, if you're a lawyer, like, for example, if you're, Uncle Clarence Thomas being held as a billionaire's pet, if some billionaire adopts you as a pet because you're on the Supreme Court, you might want to sit around. You might want to go to work every day. If you're feeling good, you got to sit on your ass. You're not out there laying brick or whatever. You're not beating your body up every single day. And the other countries have figured out, not every country, but definitely not this country, but other countries have figured out that there's more to life than just being some kind of host for the rich to suck profit and discard, right? That we don't just live so others can, exploit us. But according to Republicans, that's, some people are just born to be slaves. That's Rush Limbaugh. That's a quote, a famous quote. Sometimes they let the truth slip, but that really is the Republican agenda wrapped up in one sentence. Hold on, we'll be right back. Well, let me play this.
Today, the average life expectancy in the United States is close to 80.
Who cares?
It's totally insane.
What does it matter?
You should be
the mark of a civilization, the selling points, the bragging points, the shining city on a hill should be that we have a decent middle class life. Like, that's the American birthright. And look at this country. We're working. It's functioning so well that we have so much abundance here that we can take a day off. We have the freedom to be human. We have the freedom to get sick, to get old, to, take a vacation, to sit around maybe one day, taking a freaking emotional health day without worrying about whether you're gonna lose your job, lose your livelihood. The fact is, we live in a country where you miss one paycheck because we know this when Republicans shut down the government, which they are constantly trying to do. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting to the point where the corporate media now has the government shutdown clock in the middle of the in the corner of the screen, the countdown clock, as they do. We used to count down to Christmas or count down to when the polls close on election day, right? Now they have the countdown clock to the next Republican government shutdown, because that's all that Republicans do. But when you shut down the government, you're shutting down people's paychecks. And as we know, every time Republicans shut down the government, then the corporate media gives us the stories of the families that have to go to the food banks to make ends meet, or they have to worry about, I don't know if I can pay my rent or feed my family, or, if you can't miss one paycheck without going to a food bank, you're not middle class. I'm sorry. But, the whole thing is a scam. This is the conspiracy, Republicans. If you are a Republican and you have stumbled onto this show, stick around. Maybe you'll learn something, though I do suspect you have other plans. But, if you're really keen on conspiracies, we got some conspiracies here. And they are right in front of our faces. You don't have to think about Q. You don't have to decipher some kind of code and read between the lines. Oh, the calm before the storm. It's happening right now. The rich get richer. The working class become the more malleable working poor. That's the conspiracy. While they whittle away at pesky democracy until there is no democracy, and they have your dear leader in the catbird seat of power. Oh, don't worry, they'll still call him president like they call Putin president and Xi president, but they're not presidents, they're effective kings. That's what they're trying to do to this country. But anyway, I just hate the Republican. They're constantly people like Ben Shapiro. Who listens to Ben Shapiro? Right. And I have to tell you, if you Google whatever political podcast, he's going to come up. Ben Shapiro, the Charlie Kirk, like all these filthy racists who are spewing hate, garbage, division, kiss up, kick down, oligarchy. It's not patriotism. They're wrapping, I don't know what, their disturbed point of view into this patriotic veneer, which there's nothing patriotic about it. There's nothing patriotic about turning thinking that your fellow Americans, don't deserve a decent life. But this is the problem with Republicans, because they hate this country. They hate their fellow Americans. You can't call yourself a patriot when you hate basically just about everybody in the country. So,
to work from the time that you are essentially 20 to the time that you are 65, which is a 45-year period.
Who is this person?
Pay in, and then you will receive Social Security benefits sufficient to support you and your family, you and your wife or whatever, for like another 20 years.
It doesn't support people anyway. It's quite underwhelming, Social Security, and thank God we have it, because most people don't even have retirement, thanks to the kiss up, kick down Republican policies, how they took pensions and turned it into 401ks, with another failed Republican plan to make people interested in the market. You see, there used to be 65% of retired Americans had pensions. You got a guaranteed pension. You got a guaranteed check until you died. Then you had your Social Security. So you had a decent life. You had a decent retirement. And then you croaked. All right? You got to enjoy your life a little bit before you croak. But Republicans, they, in their slick willy wisdom, they funneled people into these 401k scams, which is, because all we keep hearing with Republicans, they talk about Social Security. They're like, oh, I could do better in the market. Like, give me my Social Security. It's my money. It's mine. Me. Because it's all about them. The center of the universe is a very crowded place filled with Republicans. But they're like, me. Because besides being, the way that we have to be, besides being what we are, right? Besides being whatever thing you do for a living, you have to also be a financial wizard. Right, to take your money and put it into the market. And then you better hope that it's not in some kind of downturn. You better hope that you didn't get scammed or bamboozled by some, greed-centered ghoul that are all around. Watch that damn show. What's it called? American Greed. Where you'll hear tales, there people, getting their life savings stolen by these supposed fiduciaries that robbed them. Oh, I knew them for years. They were the best man at my wedding. All this other shit. It doesn't matter. You're talking about greed. Some people are just disgusting, greedy ghouls. Look at Trump. That's why, I didn't even.